Hello, hello, and praise Jesus. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my vlog. It's been a minute. I mean, yeah, it's been a week with the hustle and bustles of life. Yes, and my bucket list has been full, but the Lord has been faithful. We've been able to do well in our area of jurisdiction. And we thank the Lord for this opportunity to meet yet again on this platform to share some wisdom that can help us navigate through the issues of life. As a man, we have different facets of our lives, and we need to be equipped so that we are presented as suitable beings, even in the presence of the Lord. And so I thank the Lord for convening us yet again another time. And I want to appreciate all of you for joining this vlog and for watching and for liking and subscribing. It goes a long way. Yeah. So I hope you had a good Sunday. I hope you had a good time in your place of worship. For them that are Christians in church, you had a good time in church, and the Lord was good to you. And so today, I want us to learn something new. And as we learn something new, it's good that we recap on what we learned last week. So last week we were talking about setting goals, or the previous time that we were here, we were talking about setting goals and how it's important to have goals in your life. Because as we said, 2025 might come and just go like any other year if you don't have a plan. And so it's good that we plan the year, that you have a plan, you say, this is what I want to do and all that. And so last week we looked at setting goals, and we looked at how to set smart goals. So I hope that by now your goals are smart. I hope that no one now wants to improve. I believe no one now wants to expand. I know you know exactly what you want for this year in your different areas of your life. So said last week we talked about setting smart goals, and we said it's not hard. You just need to have a pen and a notebook and jot down what is it that you want to do with the kind of finances or resources that you have. What is it that you're capable of doing, or what is it that you want to do? And so with that background, today I want us to look at something very crucial in our day-to-day lives, and especially in our financial life. And this thing is, it's used by nations, it's used by governments, it's used by households, because it's a proven tool of management of resources. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a budget. Okay, after you set your smart goals, after you have your goals in check, you've said, now this is what I want to do. You need to have a goal, so that you need to have a budget. So that as you set your budget, your goals won't remain a dream. Ever asked yourself why you've always wanted something but you never achieved it? Like, you want it so bad, you want it, but wanting is not enough, right? You need to put in the work. And so goals will only remain dreams if you don't have a plan to them. And a budget, so we can define a budget. What is then a budget? A budget is a plan of how you intend to use or to spend your resources, specific resources, at a given period of time. Okay, I'm avoiding to use the word money, because you can budget for it, just anything and everything. It doesn't have to be money, but you can. Okay, let's use the example of money. So a budget is a plan of how you intend to use your money at a specific period of time. Okay, so you've had people say, I had 100,000, for example. I had 100,000 in the morning, but around noon I had none. So you're like, what happened? Okay, someone may ask, what happened? Okay, so it's because this person lacked a budget. And so we say in money language, we say if you don't direct your money where it will go, your money will direct you where it will go. If you don't plan for your money, trust me, your money will talk to you. And there's this thing, I don't know if it's spiritual or what. If you get money and you had no plan for it, that money starts speaking to you. That's when you start seeing things that were never in your mind. But since you have money and this money is not planned for, you'll definitely go and pick that piece of cloth, for example. You'll definitely go and pick that car just because you didn't have a plan for this money, and money is here. And what happens, the danger of that is afterwards, now you're left with bills. The things that were now supposed to be planned for have no resources to be catered for. You get it, eh? So a budget helps you to plan ahead. It helps you to tell your money. You're literally talking to your money. This is where you're going to go. This is what you're going to do. Okay? So then you don't wake up with these impulse plans. You don't wake up and just think, I'm gonna do this. So have a plan for your money. And a budget is very simple. How can you have a simple budget? Just a simple budget to help us this year to plan better for our money, to plan better for our finances, and even for our goals. We talked about goals, and we said this year we want to be very intentional about our goals. We want to set it and achieve it. So what are the contents of a budget, or what is it? If you're there and you're hearing this term for the very first time, how can you use a budget to plan yourself? So a budget has 3 parts, and we are going to define the budget, and then next week we are going to define the different types of budget, because we have different types of budget. We have the household budget, we have the business budgets, okay, company budgets, okay. We have plenty types of budgets, and we are going to look at that. We have national budgets, like our country Kenya. Those that are from Kenya, every June we are read for the budget. So that's a plan of how the country or the nation plans to spend its revenue over the next 1 year. So everyone needs a budget. Every entity needs a budget. So to the content of a budget. A budget has 3 contents. Number 1, income. Okay, so a budget is usually for someone who earns. This is for people who earn, someone who has a source of income. May it be in business, may it be a salary, you have a source of income. So number 1, an income. And when it comes to income, one of the biggest mistakes that I see many people making when doing their budget. I told you when we started that I've worked with a lot of big business men and women, and I've seen the challenges they go through. They come and tell me, Irene, I'm looking to I took this, for example, I work in the banking industry. I took this loan of 20 million, but looking at it, I don't think I did what I was supposed to do. Okay, so they don't know where their money went, simply because there was no budget, or if it was there, it was not clearly defined of what it was supposed to do. So have an income, and when I talk of income, indicate all your sources of income. This is where you avoid businesses eating one another. Yeah, you have a kiosk. I'll take an example of a small business owner. You have a kiosk, you have an M-Pesa, you have a chemist, all in one roof. And you'll correct me, I don't know if a chemist and a shop can be in the same premise. So for the purposes of learning, you have these entities in the same premise. And so money is coming, and for example, you're using the same, let's say you're using the same avenue to put your cash or your income, even if it's online, the mobile payment and all that. So what happens if you're not able to define the income that comes from each of your sources of income or each of your types of business, you end up not realizing sometimes that a business could eat up another. What do I mean by the business eating up another? For example, an M-Pesa, let's take an M-Pesa, an example of an M-Pesa agent and a shop owner. So you have a shop and you have an M-Pesa. You're operating an M-Pesa and you have a shop. If you don't take inventory of how much money you've made from the shop, what you'll end up doing, you'll end up eating the commission that is from the M-Pesa and taking it to the shop, and the vice versa is true. The shop could also eat into the M-Pesa business. So when you're indicating the income, indicate all types of your income, indicate all types of your business. If you have a cloth business, this is the much I get from this. Butchery, this is the much I get from this. Real estate, this is the much I get from it. So that you're able to know, can this business sustain itself, or you're just venturing into things that cannot even sustain themselves. Okay, so an income. Number 2, a budget as expenses. When you earn, you spend. And so for expenses, we learn when you are talking about the types of businesses, because I know, especially for business people, it could be complicated, but it shouldn't, because the income that as a business person, you're supposed to have a salary for yourself, and that's a whole topic for another day. Most business people do not have salaries. They just assume all the money that comes in after they have paid bills, it's theirs. No. So expenses. So for your expenses are in 2 categories. What we call the needs, and then we have wants. Okay. So the needs are things that you cannot do without. Food, shelter, clothing, medical, education. Those are the 5 basic needs. Okay. And then we go to your wants. What is it that you want? Vacation, maybe you want to change your household items, all those things that are not necessarily urgent, but you want them. Okay, you want them. You don't necessarily need them, but you want them. And so for expenditure, and it's the same even for businesses. When you go to business now, you have the needs of the business and also the wants of the business. You might be wanting to maybe change the design of your shop, but is it time? If it's not, just pay rent and pay for water bills, that is utilities, and move on with business. If business gives back the next season, then you're able to plow back into the business and do anything that you'd wish to see in your business. So in expenditure, ensure you separate your needs and wants. And even when it comes to needs, we say that not all needs are needs. Like you get, like take for example, if you go to a shop today, you want to buy maize flour. Okay, you want to buy maize flour. If you go there, you'll find categories of maize flour. There's one that's costing this amount, there's another one costing this amount, there's another costing this amount, and there's also the other one that is found in the portion meal. So we say in needs, manage your needs. Not every need, you don't need to splash all your money for your needs. Manage your needs. And for wants, you plan for them. Nothing should be urgent in your finances. Your finances should not be urgent. Nothing should be urgent in your finances. Okay, you know how hard you earn that money, so you should take care of it even when you're spending. But we all know the earning versus the spending. Spending is like lightning. I saw some clip somewhere and they were saying the way a January salary runs, and then it was just a video and whew, something was running very fast. Nothing, you couldn't see anything. No, plan for your money. Plan for your money, really. Plan for your needs. Plan for your wants. Okay, so that is expenditure. So the first thing we said is the first content of our budget is the income. The second one, expenditure, and the last one, we call it a surplus or a deficit. In your budget, you could either have a surplus or a deficit. That is, money has remained, or you need extra money to cater for your budget. Class, what happens most of our times? Do we have an overage or do we have a negative? I'll leave that question there for you to go and answer yourself and ask yourself, how can I mitigate it this year? This 2025, I want to have surplus in my budget. How can it be so? Because it is possible. It is possible for you to have a surplus in your budget. You've spent and money is remained for investment, and we'll talk about this. What do you do with the surplus? And when there's deficit, what do you do? Most of us, when there's deficit, we know what we do. So you know that app that usually calls you, it even knows you by your name, by the way. There are so many, not to mention names so that I don't be demarketing people, but you know what we do. So those are the parts of the budget. And when we during the next video, we are going to look at how to set budget, the types of budget. Okay, that is business budget and the household budget. We're also going to look at how do we deal with the surplus income, how do we deal with deficit, so that we don't find ourselves borrowing every other time. You know, this consuming mentality. I have to borrow to buy food, I have to borrow to do this, it's not good. It's not a wealth creating mentality. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I'll end it there, and I hope you find this video educative and entertaining and educative. I hope you learn, and I hope you go and practice. So share, like, and share this video so that we get this knowledge to as many people as we can, so that we avoid the simple mistakes that we make in our finances, and that we have a better 2025. Thank you very much for your time, and yes, thank you very much for your time. Until next time, bye bye.